What's up? What's up? What's up? All to my YouTube family. We are live on this Monday evening, 7:30 over here on the East Coast. I'm trying to get Instagram going. Let me see. Looks like we will not be going live on Instagram. It's just going to be YouTube. Instagram's not being the friend. What's up, my YouTube family? We are just live on YouTube. For those who do not know who I am Natasha Bryant. I am the host here on the Speak Like Transformation TV YouTube channel. I'm a psychotherapist, a confidence mindset coach, mental health expert, author, speaker, and I am super excited about tonight's show. This is a special live. If you've been following me on Instagram at Speak Like Transformation. It's also at Speak Like Transformation for TikTok, and it's at Living Speak Life for Facebook. If you've been following me, then you already know that I've been going weekly on Thursday nights at 7:30 for my Speak Life Lessons 8-part series, and that has been honoring the year release of my coloring book, My Self-Talk Speaks Life inspirational coloring book. And it just so happens, this was definitely not planned. I had no intentions of writing another book. I'm going to talk to you a little bit more about that as we get into the show. But it just so happens that exactly a year later, this week marks the 1-year anniversary of the coloring book. And this also marks the release of the Hello Me, It's Nice to Meet You, the healing journal for unlocking your true self. And that's what this live is all about. And it's a Galentine's girl talk, book talk special, because I have a couple of my friends here who is going to be joining me to talk about this book. They all got a copy. They got a chance to look at it, look through it, get a chance to get a sneak peek. We're going to talk about this book and the different levels of healing, growth, and everything in between that we go through throughout life and just dealing with life's ins and outs. So let me bring this up a little higher so y'all can see this. There we go. And tonight we have the winner of the Hello Me giveaway. So if you enter to win a free copy of this and you're like, who was the winner? Who won? You got to stay to the end. Do not miss this. I'm going to announce towards the end of tonight's show who was the winner of this book, and it will be shipped to you this week so you can have your copy. You can start journaling ASAP. So let me introduce you to a couple of my girls. I'm first going to bring up my girl Angelette. Welcome.
Hello, beautiful people. How are you guys
Yes.
doing?
First of all, I love the whole Valentine's vibe.
Thank
Yes.
you.
And then
Matching,
we got
we
my
matching
girl.
energies.
Oh, what'd you say?
I said we matching energies.
Listen. I was looking through my closet like, what am I going to wear? I don't even wear pink. I don't even have anything red. And I look at
I
my closet
said
and
the
go, wait,
same
I do
thing.
have something.
Okay.
Oh, and then we have my girl Selena. Welcome.
Hello, Selena.
Your mic and your camera is off. Selena, are you with us?
Hey
Selena's in the
y'all,
middle of traveling.
hey.
There she go. So Selena's in the middle of traveling. Let me tell you, I appreciate her dedication. She is traveling. She had a delayed flight, and so she's literally coming from the airport and was like, "No, I'm still logging on." So I appreciate her dedication. So whenever she's available to come off her mic and or camera, she will. But she is here to join us in the conversation as well. So, ladies, let's get started. Well, first, let me tell you about, because I don't even think I even talked to you guys specifically about how I came up with this book and the inspiration. So, let me just talk to you guys about Hello Me, It's Nice to Meet You. So, initially, Hello Me came from the idea, Hello Me, It's Nice to Meet You, came from a poem within the coloring book I was just talking to you guys about. So I have a poem. So the My Self Talk Speaks Life inspirational coloring book is a coloring book that's filled with amazing coloring designs and also affirmation poetry. One of those poems is called Hello Me, It's Nice to Meet You. And that poem really spoke to getting to a place where you finally met yourself. your true self.
Mm.
You finally found out who you are. And you're like, hey, girl, it's good to finally see who
Right.
you are and know who you are, right? And so that's where it came from. And then I had no intention to write another book. Like I said, I had just finished this book a year ago. And after I wrote that coloring book and did all the things for that, I was like, I need a break, because a year before that, I had created and designed a planner, and that also took about the same amount of time, a little over 6 months or so. So this was 2 books in 2 years, and I said, you know what? I'm not doing another book. I need a break. And I was like, I'm just going to focus on promoting the coloring book. And then God said, well, actually, what you're going to do is you're going to create this
Hmm.
healing journal. And I said,
I
Lord,
have
I
a
don't want
different
to
plan
though.
for you. That's what he
Listen,
said.
listen. He said, you thought you were going to stop, but
Right.
actually, I have a whole nother idea for you. And I
Okay.
literally was like kicking and screaming, like, I don't want to. Like, I have no desire to do another book. But he downloaded this onto me. I started and I stopped. And then in the summertime, I started around like March of last year. Then I stopped. And then in the summertime, I was telling my friend about it, and I shared with her where I got what I've finished thus far. And she was like, oh, this is awesome. This could even be a course. She was giving me all these ideas and marketing. I was like, oh, I never really thought about that. So then that lit a fire for me to continue to actually finish it. And then I joined an author coaching program. And then that, of course, is all about writing books and finishing books and coaching you through that. And then I joined a speaking coaching program. Listen, coaching is great. If you need a coach to get you where you get, this is what you got to do, right? So I
Hmm.
did a speaker coaching program. And a couple weeks after I joined, they started a 30-day book challenge. And I'm like, okay, God, I see what you're doing. Like, there's all these things are lining up where you're like telling me you're going to get this done. And so
Hmm.
that's when I finally finished it. And so Hello Me is Nice to Meet You is all about, it's a journal. I didn't want it to be a regular journal where it's just you having lines and then you just kind of just writing freely. I really wanted to be a meaningful, intentional, purposeful journal. Also, being a therapist, working with individuals, as therapists, we always talk about journaling because it is a very powerful strategy to cope with your emotions, express, and really understand what you're going through and process all that. But many people struggle with journaling because they don't know what to write. They feel overwhelmed by the idea of just wanting, like, what do I write about? Right. And so I wanted to make sure there's journal prompts in there to take away that anxiety that can come with journaling. And then wanted to be meaningful when it as a healing journal. And there was 12 healing points that came to mind of when I'm doing therapy. These are the 12 most common areas that come up along my clients' healing journeys. And these are the most common ones. And so I made a chapter for each healing point. I call them healing points. And it really focuses on that specific healing area. And then it gives you journal prompts that helps you start to heal in that area. It gives you journal commitments so that you stay committed and follow through on healing in that area. And it gives you activities on strategies and exercise that can help you heal in that area. So I'm not leaving you behind and having you try to figure out this whole healing thing. Because listen, the healing is a struggle. And we're going to get into that. And it can be one that can be scary. And so I wanted to make sure I wanted to give you a tool along your self-healing journey to be able to do this. If you're not in therapy, or if you're in therapy, we can be able to do something on your own throughout your own journey. So I'm excited to talk about this book. And one of the things I just mentioned is about how healing can be scary, it can be a struggle. And so, Angela, what are your thoughts on healing and why that can be? Why can sometimes people like run from the healing process?
Yeah, no, everything that you literally just said is like on point, seriously, because like self healing is a process where like you literally have to go through and compartmentalize all of the things that you are fearing, all of the things that you want to work on, all of the things that you want to literally heal and improve on in life, and trying to figure out if there's childhood traumas, adulthood traumas, all of that stuff. So self healing is like super important. But I definitely think that it's scary because it's literally facing you. You know, it's facing the things that you are battling with, the challenges that you're like, why am I this way? You know
Mm-hmm,
what I
mm-hmm,
mean?
mm-hmm.
And to just try to figure that out, to me, I feel like sometimes can be really challenging because it's like a puzzle piece. Now I got to spread these things all around. Now I got to figure out what love is. Now I got to figure out if I'm in the right direction, if it's with career, if it's with self love, if it's with self growth,
Hmm.
whatever it is. It's like literally just breaking everything down bit by bit. And sometimes that can be a little bit overwhelming. So
Yeah,
I
and
think
that's.
that's why,
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
yeah. No, I was saying like that's why people, us, including myself, have those challenges of not wanting to actually face it head on. So
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, and and that's why I even call it, like you were saying, like it forced you to face yourself, and so that's why I
yeah,
even called it "Hello, me. It's nice to meet you," because healing is all about being raw and vulnerable with yourself. And
yeah,
that's why I have the journal commitments in it, because the journal commitments is you promising yourself to be
for
raw and
sure.
vulnerable with yourself throughout this process. Because if you lie through yourself throughout your healing journey, you're not going to heal. If you're like, I'm not
No,
really that, I don't really have an issue in this, or it's not really that it doesn't really bother me that bad, or
yeah,
I'm okay in this area, right? And you're not really honest with yourself on those
yep.
different healing points, your healing journey is not going to go very far.
And that only just literally just sets you back even more of not
Hmm.
actually facing it and lying to yourself. What's the purpose of lying to yourself when you're trying to be on a journey of understanding and loving yourself as well,
Yeah.
of all of the healings. And far as and for me, like the self-healing process is, you can make it to be fun. It doesn't always have to be scary. It doesn't always have to be like hard and like super raw. It could be like, okay, let me just do an activity, which is moving your body and making your body feel good. That's something that's fun. So you can try in different ways of self-healing too. And I think some people have challenges with that because they immediately think of like, I gotta face me and it's super hard. Sometimes it's not. Some areas are, but you gotta figure it out.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I think even just changing your mindset about it. And Selena, whenever you're ready to come off mute, feel free. You want to say something, Selena? Go ahead.
I am, yes. So sorry, hold on, let me just show y'all. I'm in a car, so I'm a real person, guys.
Love
I'm
the
just just
glasses.
traveling. Thank you, boo. So I'm
Hey.
gonna go back. But I will say, being able to be blessed by the book has helped me. Like I already started. I'm a person that does introspection anyway, but I would say, like Tosh, your book allowed me to have grace, right? Because if you could imagine like a ball of yarn all jumbled up, like as I started going through the pages and working through it, like it was like, oh, okay, this is the red string, this is the yellow, being able
Yep.
to really just practice the pause and sit with some things. So I'm really
Hmm.
appreciative that you went forth and were obedient in doing this book. It really is a blessing to others and to those that would just be willing to invest in themselves and just get started on healing. You don't want to be half of a person, right? And those that aspire to be married, you want to be whole, two
For
whole
sure.
individuals coming together.
Yeah.
Yeah, that part too. It's
Hmm.
like you said, whether it's you're on a journey wanting to be married, wanting to find that life partner, right? Needing to be whole, because you don't want to bring that baggage to the relationship. Or if you're already in a relationship and you're recognizing how your baggage is impacting the relationship, and both are reasons to heal, so you can show up as your best self. Firstly for yourself, so that you can know who you are and what you need and
Hmm.
want, but then also for whoever you end up connecting with as well, for sure.
Right.
Um,
And
Go
statistically,
ahead.
it's proven every 5 years, you change. So even if you thought you were healed, like
Yep.
go ahead and heal again. Like because you
Hmm.
could have had some trauma that was hidden in some cracks and crevices of your heart that maybe something triggered it to be exposed and it's like, oh, you know what, that was laying dormant. So it
Yeah,
definitely is a book that you can just continue to use.
Mhm.
for
Yeah, I
sure.
like what you said about that piece of when you think you're done healing, you actually have more healing to do. And that's one of the things I said. So in the beginning of the book, I explain it's like a letter to the reader, just welcoming you on your healing journey, telling you a little bit about why I created it. But then I go into after that, I go into why a healing journal. I explain the purpose of a healing journal and how it's so effective and how it can really help you along your self-healing journey. And one of the things I say in that is what you were just saying, Selena, is that this is something that you can do over and over and over again, because you might be in one phase of your life in that on that healing point, whether it's let's say rejection is one of the healing points on here. You might be in one phase of that, right? And then 2 years later, 3 years later, you're in a totally different phase of your life, and you're experiencing a whole nother different type of rejection, and you need to now heal in a new way when it comes to rejection. And I tell clients this all the time, because a lot of times they ask me, like, we're working through, and they like feel like they made some progress, like, oh good, I'm good in this area, and then something comes up and they're like, oh no, I'm not done in this area, and then they feel discouraged. And I often tell my clients, like, no, healing is a lifelong journey. That's why it's called a journey.
Yes.
Yeah, it's a
Right.
forever lifelong journey. And when you start healing, what happens is you're healing, and you end up strengthening your emotional muscle in those different areas. And as a result of growing and healing and strengthening those emotional muscles, you now are equipped to handle your next level, your next phase of healing. And so you're constantly going to the next level and the next level and the next level. And not to use that to scare anyone, but just to recognize that growth comes with, now you're equipped to do more. Now you're equipped to handle more. Now you're equipped to be able to handle areas like Selena said, that might have been dormant. It was dormant because you weren't ready for it. That wasn't a level you were at yet. You weren't ready to handle that. And now you can, when you start healing.
Everything has a season, and what I like to think, like, I'm a visual learner, so to give a visual picture for everybody, think of like a rocket. When it starts to go into the atmosphere, things have to fall off. So that's when the pieces of the rocket start to break off in order for you to advance.
Yes. So like I was saying before, in this book, there are 12 healing points. I'm going to read one. I'm going to read them down. And ladies, I want you to tell me, like, which, what healing point connects most to where you currently are on your healing journey. So the 12 are, it's limiting beliefs, forgiveness, self-doubt, fear, goals, passions, core values, relationships, affirming and self-reassurance, boundaries, rejection and disappointment, and emotional expression. So out of those 12, which one would you say, I'll start with you, Angelette, which one would you say is where you're at in your healing journey that connects with you most?
I want to say, granted, I can't remember exactly like the order that you had put it in, but it's more so like the, or should I say, like, I was looking at the book, and like chapter 5, I know, like, the trusting of the journey and trusting yourself aspect. That's one thing that I absolutely relate with, because it's literally, it's all about me. So I have to trust the journey, which is which is challenging, because it's ultimately like having a mirror up, and now you're looking yourself back in your face. So it's like, I'm trusting the journey, I'm trusting me to guide my own self and to learn that I can be better, I can be great. And like Selena said, it's different points in your life where you have to focus on, you have to look at, to figure out what it is. So I would definitely say trusting the journey is definitely like, it's juicy.
Yeah. Yeah, I didn't even say the titles, but yes, title 5, I'm trusting the journey, I'm trusting and loving the journey, right? And that's goals. And I picked that title because it's kind of like what you were saying earlier about how we end up feeling like, oh, this is going to be too much, right? Or it becomes overwhelming and we just don't want to do it. And it's like, no. When it comes to goals, we set goals, right? And then there's this process where we have to now take the steps to actually try to achieve the goal. And there's going to be ups and downs and highs and lows and everything in between, right? And so you have to be able to trust and trust that you will get there, right? Trust the process of what it's going to take for you to get there. And also allow yourself just to love the journey of it, right? Like the goods and the bads, like all the in-betweens, like really allowing yourself to just appreciate and love the journey that you're on in that way. Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah.
And then another one that I resonated with as well is boundaries. Setting
Mm-hmm.
boundaries not only with self, but setting boundaries with your loved ones, no matter if it's your job, setting those boundaries as well, because we are important. And the fact that if we don't set these boundaries, we're just going to keep on pushing um, that goal line further and further from what we really need it to be. So if we
Mm-hmm.
set those
Mm-hmm.
boundaries, therefore, that we can meet them and meet them where that and stand on it. So yeah, that's
Yes.
another one
Yeah. Yes.
that set and resonated with me.
Yeah, that one is chapter 10. I call it self-love boundary saves lives
Hmm.
because listen, I call boundaries
Yeah,
self-love boundaries because
sure.
Hmm.
boundaries is a form of self-love. You set the boundaries because you are now advocating for what you need in your life, and that is a form of love, and it will save lives because it will save you, like you said, Angela,
Right.
from falling behind on your goals. It will save you from
Yeah.
overworking yourself, doing too much, trying to be everything and for everybody and not putting yourself first. So yes. So then I want to come to you. Before I come to you, let me just let the audience know. Feel free to put comments in the chat. I can see the comments live and affect any comments or questions that you have for any of us on this platform. Feel free to ask, and then I'll be able to share with the group. So Selena, which one's for you? What chapters for you or healing point for you connected?
Girl, I feel like all of them.
Yeah.
But if I had to be specific, I would say, like, I want to echo what Angela said. Like, it's really all. But I think what really stuck out to me was the forgiveness part, and that was for myself of expectations that I had. Dying to that and really accepting the transitions in my life that on the path that I'm on and God has me on. So
Yeah.
really accepting those seasons. Oftentimes we're hard on ourselves when we think we should have had or been somewhere or done something and it doesn't come to fruition, and it's okay. But I can say for me, I let some of that change the trajectory of my life versus
Mm,
just riding the wave, and being easily able to pivot. So now I'm in a season where it's just like, okay, I submit, however this is going to look, whether
mm-hmm,
ugly, good, or indifferent, I'm going to ride the wave. So I would say,
mm-hmm,
definitely forgiveness, but that boundaries too, that hit on something because, you know, I used to be a yes person, and I put
Mhm.
people before myself, and doing that will put you back into survival mode. And I've noticed that I've
mm.
been in that space for a while, self preservation. And then when you go in that space, then you can be, at times hard to deal with because it's just like everything has you on edge, anxious about everything. So I'm trying to come out
Yeah.
of that too.
Yeah, so true about the self-preservation because then there's so much that comes up. There's resentment that comes up,
Hmm.
like
So
why
true.
does everybody keep always asking me, right?
Right,
Or,
right.
nobody's helping me or, and then you end up having this resentment and not realizing that as a result of not setting boundaries, you are teaching people that this is okay because you're not saying no.
Hmm.
So you're
Right.
Right.
mad at the person for responding, but you're also not teaching them how to actually love you. But that's why I
Right.
said boundaries is part of self love because if you
Hmm.
actually effectively implement boundaries, you end up teaching people how to love you, how to support you, how to treat you, because you're setting those lines, you're setting parameters of what you will and will not deal with. And it's not even about being mean or selfish, as many people say. It's about you really showing people this is what I am allowing in my life, and this is what I'm not allowing in
So
my
what does
life.
that look like being, being a person that never had boundaries or doesn't have boundaries and coming to a starts, my yes is my yes and my no is my no.
Hmm.
How do you navigate that and then be okay with people not accepting it?
Yeah, you know what? That's a good question. I'm actually going to let me go to that chapter because there is an activity. What's that chapter 10? There is an
Hmm.
activity in here. Because part of it is part of it is really getting to a place first of understanding why you deserve what you need, right?
That's good.
There's a level of confidence and assertiveness that comes with boundaries, and that happens because you recognize I deserve to be treated the way that I want to be treated. Like I'm worthy
Hmm.
enough to have somebody respond this way. And so the journal prompts are really good. And so the journal commitment for this one actually connects what you were just saying, Selena. The journal commitment for this chapter is, while journaling, I promise to give myself the space to focus on my needs and no one else's. Because often you're focusing on other, often if we don't have boundaries, more than likely we're focusing on everybody else's needs. What does this person need? Are they going to be upset with me? I want to make sure everybody's good. I don't want anybody to be upset, right? And you never take the time to figure out, well, what do I need? And as a result of you not knowing what you need, then you don't even know what to say no to or what to say yes to. So the journal commitment first is like, you know what? While I'm doing this, I'm not even, because for example, because these questions, like the first question is, in what areas of my life do I need to start saying no? If you don't put yourself first, if you don't stay to this commitment while journaling, I promise to give myself the space to focus on my needs and no one else's. If you don't stick to that commitment and that promise, what's going to happen is, as soon as you start thinking about the areas you need to say no to, you're going to find a reason why you can't say no.
For sure.
Because this person needs me, because this person will be upset with me, or I'm always here in this capacity. And if I say no, then nobody else is going to be able to do it. Right. And then you just end up putting your needs aside that quick, just by just trying to do this one prompt. That's just the first prompt, right? So first it's really recognizing that it's giving yourself the permission to say no. Like, it's okay, because I am deserving of having my needs met. And then even the second prompt is, how will my life improve as a result of saying no? Because I decided to let go of worries about being seen as selfish and feeling guilty. And so these journal prompts really helping you really think about, really helping you really shift your mindset, and one, putting yourself first, and then also thinking about, well, how would things be different if I really just let go of the fear of someone perceiving me as being selfish?
For sure.
Or if I let go of the guilt that's connected to me saying no, right? So that's just an example of two of the prompts. And then the activities. So what I've done is, the first activity helps you actually identify, well, what boundaries do I even need to set, right? And so this kind of connects with what you were saying about how. So the first activity is really helping you, one, recognize what are the boundaries that you need, and then and what does that boundary need to look like. So the first question is, what stresses you out? I was really thinking about, well, what is causing me stress in the first place? Because sometimes we set boundaries just because we're not really being intentional, and we don't even know why we're setting them. But you really want to set boundaries for the things that are really causing you stress, or causing you discomfort, or just causing you to feel overwhelmed, emotionally burnt out, physically burnt out. That's when you realize, okay, this is the area in my life that I need to start setting boundaries for, right? And then the second question is, why does it cause stress? So it's not even just what is it, but why? What is it? What about this is making me feel overwhelmed, feeling anxious, feeling maybe even some self-doubt, feeling depressed, angry, resentful, like whatever all the different emotions are, right? As you want to recognize, how is this impacting my life? Again, helping you then understand why this boundary is going to be important, because in order to be able to set the boundary and stick to it when you get the pushback, because you will get pushback, because that's just the nature of the game, right? You want to remember, why is this important to me? So why this person is like, but really, I really need you for this, or, well, oh my goodness, you never say no. Now all of a sudden you're going to say no. Why are you acting different all of a sudden? Like whatever kind of feedback you get, right? When these two questions are going to help you remember why I'm doing this. Because I remember the other day I was stressed because X happened, and I recognize how this is impacting my life. I'm not allowing that to happen no more, right? So those two questions really help you get firm into your why, of why this boundary is important to you. And then, how can the stress end? Now you're thinking about the boundary itself. What do I need in my life to change in order for this stress to end? In order for the stress to be removed from my life? And then the last one is, now set your limit. Now that you know why this boundary is important, you know how it's impacting your life, and what you need, what kind of change you need in your life in order to remove that stress. Now you know what boundary to set. And then you write out the boundary. And then you execute it by communicating it, and verbalizing it to the people that you need. And sometimes the boundaries are our own selves, right? Like we might be stressed out because we're answering work emails late. And so you might set your own boundaries to yourself, like, I'm not answering emails after 6 p.m. because I end up not having time for my family, right? So that's an example of like how the journals can help you even walk through that. Was that answer your question?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yep.
And also too, if I may chime in,
Yeah, go ahead.
far as with setting boundaries for me, like one thing that I have to learn of, like I think we touched a little bit on it a little bit earlier, of being uncomfortable with the uncomfortableness.
Mm.
Yeah,
Being
that's good.
uncomfortable with the fact of I'm saying no and I'm sticking to my guns ultimately. And like you
Mhm.
said, Natasha, it's the, oh well, you didn't say this before. Oh, you told me you could, but now you can't. What's going on with that? You know, because even saying yes to something that you necessarily didn't want to say yes to, you can still switch your mind and be like, you know, I'm going to go back off of that and I'm going to say no because originally that's what I wanted to say anyway. You know, so
That's
it's
good.
like
That's
I'm
good.
uncomfortable with even saying no, but like I always reflect on it of like, are you going to continuously hurt yourself? You know what I mean?
Mm.
Like you don't
Mhm.
want to continue to penetrate yourself with different things that you don't necessarily want to do or whatever the case may be. It's trying to figure out the aspect of I'm sticking to it and that's exactly what it is. If I'm
Mhm.
saying no, I'm sorry that it's making you feel away, but I also have to put myself first. And
Mhm.
then that's one thing I love about this book as well, because it breaks all of those things down as well for
Hmm.
us to understand our self worth of what we have to do. This is just something we
Mhm.
have to do.
After I get done with this book, I'm gonna be glowing like soul glow or something.
Man, okay. Look,
Like
floating.
remember the last dragon with Leroy show be shining like Leroy. So
We're gonna be
Yeah.
floating with we're gonna be floating, honey. After this book, I'm telling you, that's one thing I love about it because it literally breaks down everything. It's just it gives you that aspect of thought of like deep thinking, but it gives you that activity of like, oh,
right,
okay, well maybe I do need to do that. Like, get the book, y'all.
right. It's like pick off scab and then oh she does give a band aid. Like
Right, right.
Yeah.
Yes, I
Yeah.
love this book.
And I'm not even gonna front. There were some questions where I'm like, okay, am I getting too therapy with it? Because they don't have a therapist in the room to help them walk them through this. There were times where I was
Man,
like, okay, let me take a like, step back on the questions because these are questions that I ask in therapy sessions. Like these are
yeah,
you guys are getting your own like therapy in this book. Like you're getting your own like therapy session within this book. But I wanted to make sure that it was something you can do on your own because some of the things that you do in therapy the therapist is asking questions, but the therapist is there to help guide you through that process, right? It's not expected for you to figure it out on your own, or not necessarily figure out on your own, but it's not expected for you to process and deal with the emotion that come up on your own based on the deep dive that's happening in therapy. But this will definitely help you go deep enough where you can be able to process and
mhm.
explore on your own without feeling like I need to now call 988 because I'm feeling very overwhelmed and stressed
let
about everything.
me
So
go lay it on down.
right,
Right.
right. Yeah, so there's a few times where I was like, oh wait, Tasha, let's take a step back and bring it down just a notch because I
Mhm.
want it to be I didn't want it to be because when I've seen journal prompts in other journal books, they're more like affirmation journal prompts, right? Of like
Mhm.
I don't know, like
Mhm.
what can I do to make my life better, or what are three things I want to do to feel good about my day, or something, something like that is more fluff, but not really helping you, not forcing and challenging you to really deal with what's causing you to not have a good day in the first place, right?
Yeah.
And so I
Mm.
really wanted this book to be one that's going to challenge you because I'm a big challenger. If you watch any of my videos, at the end of the video, I'm always like, and your challenge is, I'm always giving my little homework. Like your challenge is to do this.
Right. Not a survivor or brother, big brother or something.
Um, yeah, so it's like I'm often giving a challenge. I want it to be one where you are walking away, like you were saying, like there's a journal prompts to help you do a deep dive, and then there's the activities to help you now, like really
Yes.
put this into practice. What does this look
Mhm.
like now that I had some aha moments? Now that I've thought this through and really expressed myself in this way, now you can actually put it into practice. So yeah, I'm glad you guys really enjoyed it. Awesome. Um,
Yeah.
So, Selena, my question to you is: inside the book, there are healing commitments. We actually just talked about the one of the healing commitments from the boundaries chapter. What commitments have you made to yourself along your healing journey? What are some of the promises that you've given yourself as you've been on your own healing journey?
Um, the main one that I'm working on, that I'm kind of like stuck on, is just grace. Like, I'm so hard on
Mm,
myself,
mm-hmm,
and I'm my biggest critic. And
Mhm.
it when you're hard on yourself, it takes you in a headspace. So I'm
mm-hmm,
learning to come out of that. Like, it's okay if things don't go as planned as you thought,
mm-hmm,
and to just go easy. If I feel it getting tense, let's take a beat. Let's go. Go get your favorite ice cream or something like that. Like,
mm-hmm,
it's okay to be kind to yourself. The same kindness you show to others, like, show to yourself.
mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Yeah, yeah. What about you, Angela? Do you have any commitments that you've been giving yourself along your healing journey?
Um, I had tapped on it a little bit earlier. Mine is
Mm-hmm.
more so of like just trusting the journey and
Yeah, yeah.
trusting myself.
Mm-hmm,
Like, I think is of course it's trusting the journey, but it's more so of like self-reflection. It's trusting myself that I can make the right decisions. It's trusting myself
mm-hmm,
that I
mm-hmm,
will move forward with the things that I say that I'm going to accomplish or
mm-hmm.
Hmm.
set. Um, just trusting myself of like, it's okay even if you make the wrong decision, girl.
That part.
Like,
That part.
Yeah,
That part.
it's
yeah.
okay. So I trust myself to make the right, to make the wrong, to make it all, but it's still leaning within myself to say you're okay. It's
Mm-hmm,
okay not to be okay, but you are okay because you're trying to figure out, you're trying to move forward, move that needle forward in the right direction. So mine
mm-hmm.
will definitely be trusting myself for sure.
Yeah, I love that. When you guys were talking, it was reminding me of some of the affirmations. So, on at the affirmations within the book. So, there's also affirmations at
Mhm.
the bottom of every page.
Right.
There is, well, at least on the journal pages. So there's
Hmm.
journal pages with the journal prompts. At the bottom of those pages are are affirmations, and this one is in chapter 9, which is all about affirming and self reassurance. So each affirmation connects with the theme within that chapter, right? So again, this one is all about affirming and reassurance, and this kind of connects what you were saying, Angela, about forgiving, like allowing yourself to be okay with making mistakes. And this affirmation
Yeah.
says, I continuously encourage myself to keep going even after I fail or make a mistake, which is like what you're saying, like giving yourself
Yeah.
that, like it's okay if you don't get it right the first time. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Look, try again.
Yes, yes, yes. Um, and then the journal commitment for that one, for the same chapter, is while journaling, I promise to not focus or hold on to thoughts that will try to talk me out of believing I am enough. And it's that kind of connects with what you were saying.
Hmm.
Mm-hmm.
I just
Yeah.
also learning too. Your book just brought out a lot of points that I've already said, or how
Mm-hmm.
you get that is
Mm-hmm.
that New Year's resolution. But I definitely
Mm-hmm.
said I was gonna esteem myself more.
Yeah.
Like, big, like, girl, you doing that, like, big myself
Mm-hmm.
up, like.
Mm-hmm. 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 Yeah. Yeah. Um, Another question, and either one of you guys can answer this question. Is journaling something you do as a form of healing? Like, have you guys journaled before in the past? Do you have a history of journaling? Is this your first time thinking about journaling? What's your what's your journaling history?
For me, I've always started and stopped. I haven't
Mm-hmm.
been consistent, and I guess that's because
Yeah.
I was scattered brained. Like, I
Mm-hmm.
would do, like, I would start it off as like diary entries, and then I wouldn't have the words to put to how I was feeling. So I think it would just become overwhelming,
Mm-hmm.
and I would just stop. But I am committed to see your book through because it gives you the prompts. It's easy, as far as
Mm-hmm.
easy as
Hmm.
in, it's a guideline. It's like failure proof. Like, okay, just stick with it, see it through. So
Mm-hmm.
that's what I really appreciate about it. Like, if you don't know where to start, here, it's a gentle push in the right direction, and then it'll
Mm-hmm.
unlock other, things that you didn't even know you needed to tap into.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I would definitely have to agree with Selena for sure, because that's exactly how it is. I start journaling good for about a month and then be like, yeah, and then fall off a little bit, then be like, I don't know what direction to go into. And then it's like
Mhm.
you have the feeling of you wanting to journal, but for me it's like, well, what am I really gonna talk about? But
Yeah.
like
Right,
what
Yeah.
right,
Selena was saying is like, you're look, I got y'all get it right here, because this is it. Because it really is. It helps you do yet step by step of trying to figure it out, trying to understand directly what it is. And I also know, far as for me, what helps me as well, not necessarily journaling, but I also love to do vision boards. And
Mm.
before I even do my vision boards, I literally like write down the steps of what I want to put on it. Cause like Selena, I'm a visual learner. I love visuals. I can like, all right, cool. I can set that, see that thing, and then set it, and then achieve it as well. But like with your book, it's just literally chef's kiss. I'm a chef, so that's I'm over here like it's chef's kiss, because this is where it's at. It breaks down all the things that you need and all of the things that you never thought that you needed. And then it's like, oh, now I'm thinking about this. Okay, this is a good area where I need to focus on,
right,
versus
Mhm.
where I thought I needed to focus on one thing, but now it's like, oh no, here's where I need to be.
Mhm. Mhm.
right. And it
Yeah.
keeps you on track because sometimes I can be like
Yes,
squirrel, you know. So
yes.
it'll keep get you
Hmm.
right, but it's like, no, stay here, sis. Like,
Exactly. Exactly. Where you going? Where you going?
right,
Yeah. It's like in each in the even within the chapters, even though so for example, um the one chapter on rejection and disappointment. So the chapters itself is one chapter, but then there are different um topics within that topic that the different journal prompts are
Hmm.
connecting to. So though you'll see a flow of like journal prompts connected to one specific area in that main topic, and then you'll see how then it shifts to like another topic. Another way you can tell the difference is that the I keep the affirmation the same for the specific topic um within that chapter, right? And so because that affirmation is to address that specific topic within the chapter, and then when you see the affirmation change, that means now you're addressing another area within that topic. So it's like you are addressing one area and rejection and disappointment, and then as soon as you see the shift in the change in the affirmation poem, then that's when you recognize, oh, I'm addressing a whole nother area in rejection and disappointment. You can tell by the questions as well that is shifting to a different area. So it's like I'm really being intentional about addressing the specific areas that are most common and what are usually the areas that most people need to work on in those specific topics. So yeah. um, One of the activities I absolutely love is I really enjoy all of them. And these are activities I've done in sessions as well. Some of them are new that I just came up with specifically for this book, but there's many of them that I've either done in therapy sessions or even in my coaching sessions within my coaching course. So you're definitely getting some quality activities. The one that I absolutely love, this is a new one I've created. This is the very last page 92, and it's giving you a self-care. This is within the emotional regulation or emotional expression. Chapter 12, emotional expression. And so the activity for this one is really helping you just identify coping skills. So I'm giving you a list of different coping skills that you can use based on your energy level. Based on how you
Hmm.
feel. So I don't talk about the emotions as like specific emotions, like if you're feeling sad or happy or excited or anxious, more of the energy, because really emotions is just energy. So when your energy
Hmm.
is high, and high can be terrified, high can be, feeling out of control, elated, super, super duper excited. Or
Mhm.
and then I give you and so you might need something to bring that energy down, for example. And then I have for low, that might be when you're feeling sick or tired or shy or depressed, bored, right? And you need to boost your energy. Then there's coping skills that can help you kind of increase the energy that you need. So that's one of the activities I absolutely love within the book. Hey, I want to make sure I say your name right. Lynette. Oh my god, I forgot how to pronounce. Lenan
Lanandra.
Lenandra. Hey, Lenandra. Hey, girl.
Hey,
What
hey,
is
hey.
up,
Hey,
Bella?
girl. Hey.
Here. Hey, girl. Hey. Anybody would just put out there. Anybody who have any questions that are watching us, feel free to put your questions in the comments. Let me get to another. Do you guys have anything else? I don't want before I ask another question.
I
You have
just
any other
can't wait
questions?
for the viewers to buy this book. Like I can't
Yes, I'm
wait
listening. Y'all.
so we
Yeah,
can do a
Big that
follow
one.
up and just be like, so how did y'all find it? I
exactly.
want to know what the people have to say.
No,
Yeah,
for
like
sure.
I'm excited too. I'm
It's
excited
gym.
too. What'd you say?
I said it's a gym for sure.
Yes, it's that book that's gonna be like, encased on your bookshelf.
Okay.
I feel like you need two. One to work through and then one to be like, just have there, not touch,
Right. For
unwritten in.
sure. Cause I was about to say, Farzan with this book, like the fact that it is ongoing, like what Selena was saying earlier, like you can take this book while you on the train, you could take this book while you at work and you on your 30-minute break and you just trying to figure out some things. You could just like like literally it's about to be in my totes because you
That part.
need it. Because if you even like confused of like what you were just saying with the activities in the back, the affirmations, like if your energy is low, and this is like self what's the word I'm looking for, reassurance for me, because even like when my energy is low, I'm like, all right, I need to watch a good funny movie, something that's comedy or something like that, and it literally has it in here where it says if your energy is low, watch a funny movie, like bake something, get your mind off of whatever the chaos is in your brain. And I think that's really
Right.
beautiful because it's like, okay, I am on the right track. So that's reassuring me too. So
Mm-hmm.
get the
Mm-hmm.
book.
Yeah.
Right.
Get
Yeah.
Can
the
we
book,
get into
y'all.
really quick? Can we get into the cover and the fonts? I'm a font script girl. I love everything about this. The bright colors. It just makes you like grab that, even if you grab it on accident, just because it's so bright and vibrant, and it makes you
One
want to do it. Like, how
1000%.
you have those coloring books that make you want to color. Like, it
Yes,
makes you want to write just because of the presentation. So shout out to you, Tasha, for the design and everything is really dope.
for sure.
Thank you. Thank you. This is my fourth book. So I mentioned I have a coloring book, and then I did the planner. The planner now is available via ebook. And then I have another ebook that I have. I have a couple other like small book workbooks as well, but I have a workbook
Hmm.
ebook as well. But this is my first like physical book. The other two books, I did some like a publisher helped me kind of put it together and format it. But this one I did from beginning to end all on my own. Like the cover I
Yes.
designed, the fonts I designed, the inside I
Wow,
designed.
that's what's up.
All I had was just an editor just to kind of check for the editing. So this is one of the ones where I was like, this was all me. I was, I did it. And
Man,
then my
listen.
fiance, he's a graphic artist. So I would get his feedback. I'm like, babe, what do you think about this cover? Is it good? And he would tell me like, you should scale this, or he would tell me like how to size it and make sure it looks well to the eye. But yeah,
Yeah.
so I'm glad you guys caught on to like
Yeah,
the different
But
designs
we're
because
yes,
visuals.
yeah,
exactly. See, we done
So
told you
we're
now.
visual, so we got that for sure. When I seen, it, I said, "Oh my gosh, this is beautiful!" And I'm over here like flipping through the pages. I'm looking at different stuff. I'm like, "This is amazing, amazing,
Absolutely.
amazing!" And like Selena said, it makes you want to do the work, to look through the book for everything. You need it. Everybody, go get
yeah. And I want it to
it.
Right.
be colorful inside. I wanted to have like, because for those who can see, the pages are colored as well. Again, for the
Yes,
same thing, like, I want it to be, because we just talked about this. Healing can be a lot, you know. It can be a process that initially can be really scary to start. And like I said too, these prompts are not just your band-aid fluffy prompts. These are prompts that are going to challenge
Right.
you to tap into things that you might have been avoiding. And so I wanted to make it where it still felt there's like a level of calmness and peace that the book gives, even though you're about to dive deep into things that you probably have been avoiding
Right.
for a long time. And so I challenge people too, like before you even just dive right in and start writing, I challenge you to really read the beginning about why a healing journal, because it's really going to help you understand how to really maximize this journal. It's really going to help you understand why healing is important. It's going to help you understand why there's going to be certain parts that's going to be harder than others.
Yeah.
It's really going to help you really put a
Right.
lot of connect the dots to what your process is going to look like. And so if you're like, I don't know how this is going to be, I'm kind of nervous, the intro really helps you have an idea of what this process may look like. Now everybody is different, so it's not a cookie cutter like this is what you're exactly going to go through. That's not what I'm saying, but it kind of gives you an idea of why different things might come up for you and why you might be experiencing why you might be having different experiences, and how to really get through the journal in a healing and healthy way.
It's a
Yeah.
Right.
beautiful guide, for
Can
sure.
I just drop this in here? Can we just get like a shirt that say if you're gonna heal pretty or or just
Oh,
heal pretty? Like I just feel like that would go
Yes.
along with the book. Like
yes.
Okay.
why not heal pretty? You know, if you gotta do it
Yeah.
anyway.
Yeah.
Seriously.
I love that. I love that. Yeah, heal pretty. I like that.
Mm-hmm.
Heal pretty for sure. For sure. Um, well, I mean, one of the final questions was going to be just your thoughts, but you guys have said your thoughts of, well, actually, one last final question.
Mhm.
How do you
What's
think
that?
this healing
Right,
journey,
Angela.
would you say? Would you
I
say?
said
You
Angela
said
held
the
up the
final
book
thoughts. I
again. I was
said my
like,
final
right,
thoughts.
plug
Yes, it
that book,
was.
because I'm in the dark right now. Plug that book.
Okay.
Um, well, let's plug the book then. Hey,
Look.
hello, me. It's
Right,
nice to meet you. The
right,
Healing Journal
right.
for
Meet yourself, sis.
unlocking your true self. Let's put it there. There you go. There is the book. Yes.
Exactly. Hello,
Get
you.
it.
Meet you.
Get it?
Get it. And you're like, well, how do I get it, girl? How do I get it? Well, let me show you how you can get it. It is officially the pre-order has officially been unlocked at 7:30 p.m. tonight. And so it's now
Yay.
available for pre-orders. And so you can be able to put your order in now for you to get it for when it's released. It'll be released the first week of March. So you can put your order in now, and and then you'll be able to get it before it is released and out to the public and sells out. So get your order in now so that you know that you already have yours. So when it sells out, you're good because you already got your
Yeah.
order in. And this is, let me tell you, I'm super, super excited about this. And if you want to do the combo, so the coloring book is also a good combination with this. So like I said before, you could be doing this journal and it could be a lot, right? Some things can be coming up for you and you just need to maybe like a mental break. The coloring book is a great coping strategy. This is why I create the coloring book. I create the coloring book for people to use that as a coping strategy. Coloring is a great stress reliever. It helps with
Mm-hmm.
mindfulness. It forces you to be in the present. It helps
Yeah.
you, really. There's something about when we create something with our own hands, right? That's why
Right.
building things, people really feel it's therapeutic when they're building something because like they started from nothing and they build it from scratch and now it's like this amazing work of art. And that's how coloring is too. It's like this blank canvas. You create it the way you want, you add the colors you want, and then before you know it, now it's this like beautiful masterpiece. And the type of coloring designs that's in my coloring book is I strategically pick ones that you can literally take out of the coloring book and put in a frame and put on your wall. It's not your typical flowers and
Oh,
paisley type
That's
of designs.
amazing.
Matter of fact, let me
a,
bring
a healing book and the
I was
tour.
just about
Come
to say you
on,
got
sis.
you got one.
let me bring that out.
Come through,
So
sis.
this is the coloring book. These
I'm
are some
having
of
put
the
me a bundle package together.
so this
Okay.
example, like this is one of the coloring pages, for example. So it's
Oh,
very
that's
like
beautiful.
mosaic artwork type of coloring pages that you can really, really like take out and make into your own type of artwork
Yes. You just
on
need a
display.
bundle.
Listen, right.
Um
Give us a
Don't
good
threaten me with a good
package.
time. I'm about to open up an art all night. with all the
Okay.
pages. Y'all come see my work.
So yeah, the coloring book is a great thing to have with you as well. So you can take that as a break and color and just feel release. And then also the affirmation poetries that connected to it. And I do want to read the hello me, it's nice to meet you affirmation, because that's what we just talked about, how this is where this poem came from. This is where
Wow.
the journal came from. It came from this poem. This is when I first created the title, Hello Me, it's nice to meet you. And again, this is within the My Self Talk Speaks Life inspirational coloring book. And it reads this. So again, the title is Hello Me, it's nice to meet you. I walk in a room and I choose to be me. I finally choose me. I appreciate the beauty around me, but am in awe with the beauty within me. I no longer try to say the right thing because my thoughts perfectly represent me. I stopped worrying about creating happiness for others and now only create happiness for myself. Confidence exudes from my pores, eliminating any fear of judgment. I show up with my quirks and love every minute of it. I take up space with my goofy personality and rambunctious laugh. I am free from the cares of the world. I am embracing me. My full, unapologetic, authentic self, me. It's so great to finally meet me. And so that's where the
That
book
is
is the journal
lovely.
Nasty.
came from.
That was so good. That
Yes.
was good. Come on, hello me. Don't
Okay.
say goodbye, say hello.
That was real good and juicy. I loved every
Right,
bit of it. I need to hear it again.
right.
Oh my gosh, I love that.
That was so
Yeah, and
dope.
so the coloring book is honestly, the poems that I created from the coloring book is really just stories of the women that I worked through therapy, my therapy clients, and also my coaching clients, and also my stories too. So every poem is a story of either a combination of someone I worked with, or even my own story, or it's an individual story of someone's life who I had the honor to be on their healing journey with. And that's why I dedicated this book to my clients, because that's where the inspiration from this book came from. And then
Oh,
my
that's
hello me, it's
beautiful.
nice to meet you, I dedicated
Wow.
this to my niece, who's gonna be 16 in July. Hey Kay, what's up, girl?
Oh,
I
hey.
dedicated this to her because I want her to embrace who she is, right? Especially when you turn
Yeah.
16. Y'all know how it is when
We're
you
going through the works.
16,
We're going through the
17.
emotions.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Listen,
It's
We're gonna
that
figure it
awkward
out.
stage of people, everybody's all crazy.
Yep.
listen. It's a lot going on when you turn 16. So yeah, just encouraging her just to be her true authentic self, because that's what this book is all about. This journal is all about helping you embrace who you are authentically and loving all of that. And that's why when you get to a place that you love yourself authentically and you unapologetically show
Mhm.
yourself that unconditional love, is literally like, hey girl, hey, it's
Yeah.
fine. It's
Hmm.
finally good to finally meet you in person. Because for so long I've been trying to be somebody else. For so long I've been trying to meet everybody else's expectations, but I'm finally being introduced to who I really am and accepting her. And it's just nice to meet her. So that's
It's a
what the book
Right.
beautiful
is
This
sweet
is
about.
spot
so
for sure.
right.
Yes.
This is so
That's a
awesome.
beautiful sweet spot.
Yes. So I have two questions that viewers
Yes.
might, be hesitant to ask. But I'm gonna put it out there. So the first question is, okay, say if I'll be like, hey Taj girl, I want to bundle all the books. Do you accept like afterpay? What are forms of payment? And then the second question is like, how as a therapist and even within your own book, do you find yourself healing again each time,
Mhm.
you write or you go through your book?
Yeah. So regarding payment, I did not do a bundle, but y'all gave me the idea. So maybe I'm gonna now do a bundle.
Bundle it up.
I
Bundle it
like
up.
the idea of doing the
Bundle it
bundle.
up.
So right now, like I said, the journal is in pre-order. So you'll do that. You pay for them now, right now, separately, but I will definitely be creating a bundle where you can purchase both together for sure. Right now there is no afterpay, but you can pay so everything's on my website, speaklifetransformation.com. You can see it on the screen, /LSL store. LSL stands for Living Speak Life Store. That's the name of my online store, Living Speak Life. And so there's after there, well, yeah, afterpay
Mhm.
set up, but you could do PayPal, Apple credit, your debit card, things like that. And then regarding the second question, yes, I am often there's so many times that I'm in session and I'm giving my client advice. I'm like, oh, that's some good advice. Let me make sure I follow that myself. Right? um, or especially when I did couples therapy, when I haven't seen a couple in a while, but I at one point I had a lot of couples, and I was like, oh, that sounds just like me and my fiance. Let me figure out how I can apply this to my own life because this is exactly what we going through. You know what I mean? So it's like, it sounds like,
Right.
oh, she sound like me. Maybe I need to be, I'm telling her advice. That sounds just like me. Let me make sure I check myself.
Right.
So,
Right.
Girl, my
so there's
mirror stay
definitely
foggy.
times, but I lie to you not. Every time I read, like especially from the coloring book, every time I read a poem, I'm like, girl, that was so good. Like I even get get like excited and inspired
Yeah.
and encouraged by it. And I think also it's because I know the story behind it too, and so that just definitely helps me like reset and heal as well. So no, for sure. Sometimes I think like therapy helps in a good way and a bad way for me because then I can become a little desensitized. So I know I'm talking so much about it that even with my own emotions, I'm just like not putting it aside, but just like I'm able to quickly like just
Right.
assess and move
Right.
forward with it and not like fully like talk to other people about it because I've already internalized and processed it because I do
Right.
so much that in session, like I literally internalize somebody else's issues,
Yeah.
process it, figure it out for them, and then I spit it
Mhm.
out. Right? That's
And then
literally what
bring it
it is.
back. Yep.
Right.
Mhm.
And so I'm so used to doing that. I do that with my own so quickly that I don't do a lot of sharing out because I'm like, I forget about it or I don't think it's not as much of a factor or issue as it was initially. And so I gotta always remind myself, like, girl, share, talk. Yeah. So
Mhm.
Right. And one more question while you were talking, because this is just so
Mhm.
juicy and so good. I'm not trying to get free counseling. I promise you. I'm trying to put myself as the viewer. I promise you, I'm not trying to do free counseling. I'm
no,
just thinking
whatever
of
question you
if
have, I'm
I
sure it's
were
gonna bless
if
somebody else.
right, I'm just like if I were not on this panel, what would I say? Like what questions would I have? Okay, so for those that might be like, I want to do work, but I'm numb, right? Like
Mm,
I have turned off all emotional faculties. What can I do to, kind of unstone my heart to be able to be
yeah.
receptive of your book?
Ooh,
Mm-hmm.
that's a really good
Yeah,
question.
that's a good one. I think, well, part of it is recognizing when it comes to just healing, it's just recognizing where you're at, right?
Right.
Mhm.
And so it's recognizing that that's just where you're at. You're at a place now where you're numb and you don't even know what to feel. You don't even know what you're feeling, right? And what I would say is because these 12 chapters, let me tell you, and this is actually a really good point. These are 12 chapters, but they're in no particular order. I just happen to put them in the
Mm,
12 orders, but there's no
Mhm.
particular order. So you can start from the beginning, you can go in the middle, like if you can go to where you're at right now. Like, and I say this because Selena, for that individual, where they're at right now, they need to first learn how to really connect with their mind and body, right? They really
mm,
need to learn how to connect with their emotions. And so that's why chapter 12, which is all the way in the back, that'll be a good place for that person to start. Because
Mhm.
emotional expression, that chapter is all about that. It's all about reconnecting with yourself emotionally. It's all about giving yourself the verbal language for the emotion that you're feeling because a lot of times we don't know what we're feeling. As an
mm,
adult, you'll be surprised. Like our emotional vocabulary is actually, for many adults, it's actually really not that high. We stick with
Mhm.
the mad, sad, angry, the same six that, even we did when we were like in 10th grade or in sixth grade, right?
Yeah.
right.
Because a lot of times we a lot of times people ask how are you doing, but nobody really wants to know.
Mhm.
Or if you
Right.
really tap into emotions, it requires a vulnerable conversation that most people don't feel safe being in. So you just keep it really light, like, oh, I'm good, or I'm angry, right? Or I'm
Yeah.
sad. You just keep it basic and light. But we don't
And it's
Right.
use
also
time.
routine too.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
routine.
yeah.
Oh, how are you? I'm fine. When you literally deep down inside is like, I am at my
Mhm,
breaking point.
mhm,
Right. That's
mhm,
so
But we
true.
mhm.
always say like, oh, I'm fine or I'm good. But if we sit down and really think about how we truly feeling, it's other language than just I'm fine.
Right.
Yes.
And when I learned that anger, when you really think about anger, is just unexpressed hurt,
Mm-hmm.
that thing changed
Yes.
my life.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yes.
Yep. Because anger is a secondary emotion. It's never a primary emotion, right? I literally was talking to my
Mm,
Yes.
client about this,
Mm.
because what happens is, right? Actually, we can go back to the example of when we talked about the resentment, right? Um, where you end up getting mad at somebody for not helping, right? After you did all the things, right? And it easily
mhm.
comes to anger, but really, what the feeling is I feel, I feel resentful. I feel neglected. I feel um abandoned. I feel maybe even rejected, that nobody's even thinking about me. I feel, like there's all these different things that's coming up that people are always expecting me to show up for them, but they're not expecting me, but they are not asking what I need, right? And so there's different
Mhm.
Mhm.
emotions coming up as a result of that, but that requires you to become vulnerable to tap into that, even with
For sure.
yourself. That's why I
Right.
said this book is always about the initial intro talks about you being open to be vulnerable with yourself. And even with this one, with the chapter 12, because it's going to require you to tap into emotions that you usually don't allow yourself to tap into because it requires vulnerability. The journal commitment for that is, while journaling, I promise to allow myself to be emotionally vulnerable. Because if
Mhm.
you can't be
Mhm.
vulnerable with yourself, then you can't be vulnerable with other people. And
So
so
true.
anger easily can be replaced because anger doesn't require vulnerability. Anger is
So
all about me,
true.
how I feel. Anger is all about me hurting you because you hurt me. Anger is all about
Mhm.
me being justified for why I'm responding the way I'm responding, because I am hurt and you hurt me and you deserve whatever I'm giving to you, right? Anger goes into, I don't care about nobody. I don't care about anybody. It's all self-preservation, right?
Yes.
And so
Right.
that's why it's so easy to just hop into anger, because I have to be vulnerable. I have to worry about nobody trying to hurt me because I'm hurting everybody else. I don't care about nobody, right? I'm protecting myself at this point. But when you really tap into how you really feel, that can be even overwhelming for yourself if you never allowed yourself to tap into those emotions. And then it requires you to trust other people to be
Mhm.
gentle with your heart when you decide to be vulnerable.
Mm.
Therapy
That
session.
part. Look, that
Mhm.
part.
Right.
That's another therapy session. But to answer your question, yeah, I
Right.
was that person can go into the emotional expression. Because those journal prompts, like for example, the first journal prompt is reflect on a specific coping strategy you've implemented, how it helped you manage your emotions and the positive outcomes that resulted from it. So it's, I'm first helping you figure out what helps you deal with your emotions in the first place. What are your coping strategies, right? What do they look like for you? And then, like, what emotions do I often try to avoid and why? So I start off light. What helps
Mhm.
you deal with your emotions, right? So you can
Mhm.
then start using them as you go through the rest of this book. Because now I'm going to have you now I'm going to challenge you to think about, what are these emotions that I avoid and why, and what helps me feel emotionally safe to express my emotions. So that goes back to that need. What do I need to feel safe to emotionally
Yeah.
express my
So
emotions, to
true.
be vulnerable? So that's where that person can start on that chapter.
This is so good.
It's so juicy. It's so juicy.
Right.
And then, like what you said too, Tosh, it's the fact that the journal is not in no particular order. Because
Mhm.
as I was reading like the content page, I was looking like, which chapter do I absolutely need to tap into of what
Mm-hmm.
I'm in the now moment of? And
Mm-hmm.
literally chapter 5 was the trusting the journey. Like that's what I tapped into. And I'm like, okay, okay, all right. And like you said, it makes you think a little bit deeper. You start off a little light, and then it's like,
Mhm.
wait, hold on, Tosh. Why you why
Right.
you
I had the eeny, meeny, miny, mo that thing. All of it applied to me.
I'm like, wait, are you talking to me? But it also makes you reflect of like, okay, this is a really good question. Now let me think about it and let me compartmentalize these emotions and these feelings
Mhm.
of how I'm actually feeling inside and how to move forward. And this, I'm trying to tell you, get the book, get the
Right.
book. It's
Yes,
juicy.
yes,
It's juicy.
yes. Well, ladies, this has been a great conversation. We need to do this again. We should plan.
Yes.
We should plan one in person, and do it
Definitely.
in person. Have another a great convo, because this was great. I hope
I'm
you all
down.
have enjoyed this conversation. If you are watching this live, save it. on YouTube, save it onto your YouTube account, share it with other people so they can also watch it and just be blessed by the content. Because we talked about the book, but we talked about a lot of things regarding
Right.
healing, rowing, and everything in
That's
between.
okay.
Again, you can get this book, Hello Me, It's Nice to Meet You, at speaklifetransformation.com /LSL-store to pre-order, put your pre-order in so you can already have your order reserved. So when the orders come in and things sell out, you already have yours. You don't have to worry about, trying to get it before it sells out. Yours is already on the pre-order deadline. And wait, I have to make an announcement. Ladies, we have a winner for tonight.
Ooh,
Can we do a drum roll? Drum roll, please.
Boom.
So first of all, thank you all who entered to win. And the winner of a copy of Hello Me, It's Nice to Meet You is Diana Williams. Yeah,
hey,
girl.
congrats,
Yeah,
Diana.
girl. I can't remember if
Hey.
I put addresses. I was like, realized like I don't think I put the addresses in here. So Diana, I'm gonna email you, let you know that you won, and then so I can get your address so I can send you. Yeah, no, I don't think I put that. I didn't think I asked y'all for an address. That was silly of me. So yeah, girl, I'm going to send you an email to let you know that you won, and then so I can get your address so I can send this to you. So you can get your copy. And again, if you also are interested in getting the coloring book, the My Self Talk Speaks Life Inspirational Coloring Book, that is available as well at the same location, the speaklifetransformation.com /LSL-store. And join me this Thursday. This Thursday, I is the Speak Life Lessons Thursday night, 7:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, also on this YouTube channel. And my guests, every guest that I have, they picked one poem from the coloring book, and then we use that poem to drive the conversation. And so this one is going to be a good one for all my God girls out there. Let me tell you, I'm not going to tell you what poem it is, but if you own this book already, you probably already know what poem I'm talking about. But for all my God girls out there, this is, and God guys, I don't even God guys is even a thing, but I'm going to name it God guys. But to all my
God's gentlemen.
God gentlemen, yeah, so I think the
Now,
G, God gentlemen, I guess.
Right,
God
God's
bros,
gentlemen.
I don't know. Uh, yeah, this is it's going to be a really good one. We're going to be talking about trusting blindly. And the poem that we're talking about, the poem that we're going to be using to drive this conversation is all about that, about trusting God's plan. And so it's going to be a really, really good conversation. Again, my viewers, I mean, not my viewers, my guests chose the poem that really resonated with them. And this is the one that she chose. Shannon Brown is going to be my guest. So check me out on Instagram at Speak Life Transformation and TikTok at Speak Life Transformation. Facebook at Living Speak Life to stay connected and get all the latest information about when I'm going live and the different events that's going on. I also have let me put this up here too. Also have a free masterclass coming up this Friday. I've been bad, y'all, with advertising this because there's been so much going on. But yes,
Right.
there's a free master class, the art of fulfillment, and it's all about, it's an hour masterclass. It's gonna be happening Friday at 12 p.m. right during your lunch break, where for free, where you can learn the habits that can stop you from living a fulfilled life, and then how to the habits that you need to take on to be able to live a life that you're on fire for, and start really boldly making the transition you need to the life that you want to live and build a legacy that you want to have. So if you're interested in attending this free masterclass, you can visit this Linktree website to register. You can also go on any of my social media pages. Click the link in the bio, it's right there. It's not up to date yet, but if you go to natashabspeaks.com backslash events, you'll be able to connect. You'll be able to get it there. Once I get it updated, you'll be able to register that way as well. So let me put Selena back up. She got disconnected. Oh, she on? I think she's on. Okay. But yeah, any final as I close, Angela, you have any other final thoughts or anything as we close?
I would my literally last final thought is this book is absolute juicy, is a must need, and is a must read for sure. All I have to say is like get the book, because just like what we were talking about, this is literally, it meets you where you are in life. And then
Mm-hmm.
that's one thing that I absolutely love about it, because just like what Selena was saying of you can always resort back into the book of figuring out, oh, I'm a year from now, oh, let me go back into Hello Me, Nice to Meet You, because this is the chapter that I'm in life. And that's exactly what it's about. It's beautiful, it's a must need and a must read. We need it. Go get it. Go get it. And it has been absolutely a pleasure with y'all. 1000%. Yes, see?
I'm home. I'm in the light now. Get the book. Get the book. Get the book. No darkness. Get the book.
Get the book for
First of all, I
sure.
need that blazer. Is that a blazer you have on, Selena?
No, girl. It's against all odds. It's the Rugrats. I love 90s. Like,
Rugrats. Wait, girl, I
yes,
love the Rugrats.
What?
I love the
yes,
Rugrats.
I
against
love
all
the
odds.
right. Yeah, it's pretty dope. I love
Yes,
it.
Thank
I love
you.
that. That's a good one.
But yeah, it was absolutely beautiful on here tonight. It was so juicy. I've learned a lot. Y'all shared a lot. I shared a lot. It's just a beautiful space, and I love to be here again and again. Just like what you were saying, Natasha. We got to do this in
Hmm.
person for sure. So thank you
Yes,
for
yes,
having me. I appreciate it.
Hmm.
yes. Selena, do you have any final thoughts?
Just thank you for, and having us in this space to, be with you in this platform and really share our thoughts with you. I hope I can speak for Angela on this part. Like, we're honored to, big you up. Like, this is dope.
Yes,
This is amazing. It's going to change lives of people. Y'all be sure to get the book. We cannot say it enough. It's really, it's we gave just a tay-to-tay. Like, you need to enjoy the whole meal. Like, sit down and just
yes,
do the work. Just be better as a
Yeah,
person. But
yeah,
I'm so glad that you just were obedient and giving your yes and coming up with this needed. And especially
for
for our
sure.
community, the brown and black community, isn't
yeah,
it? We're coming out of the era of sweeping stuff under the rug.
yeah. Hmm.
So it's nice to have the tools, right? And this is another
Hmm.
tool that you can add to your toolbox.
For
Yeah,
sure.
yeah, yeah, yeah. That's what I definitely wanted to be. I wanted to be a great resource, a great tool
Hmm.
for individuals on their self healing journey. So thank you, ladies, so much for coming on and just really like just hearing from you. It's like when you're a creator, you get excited about it, but I don't mean anybody else is gonna be excited about it, right? And so I'm just
Right.
excited that not only are you, enjoying it and really really loving the journal, but what I wanted the any journalist to or journal person or writer to get out of this or participant in this, you guys are really getting all those points that I was intended for that I intended for with this journal. So this is like super uplifting to hear from you guys as well. So I'm excited. Listen, get the book. Get the book again, spiritualnation.com
Oh, backwards.
LSL dash store. And I end all my videos. Y'all know how I end them. Make sure you be bold, be safe, and good night.
Night.
Bye.
Bye.